Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video you guys will see our full interior process from start to finish. This is Khan from Mobile Detailing and we cover Rhode Island and the surrounding areas. This client wanted to sell their vehicle, so he gave us a call to get just the interior done and wanted the inside to look nice before he sold it. These are the before shots of the interior. The trunk does have a lot of sand in it. I am using wide angle so you can't see every little thing, but there was a lot of sand and little hairs. And as you can see here, there's a lot of pet hairs in these fabrics. But overall, there's a lot of sand in this vehicle built up. These mats need to be pressure washed. And this is the driver's side, same thing. There's pet hair in between, sand, and a lot of crumbs. But this is what's expected, So we are going to start off with the trunk. We always start from the back and move forward. I'm using the air compressor to blow out all the little crumbs, hairs, and anything in between this fabric. This is the fabric piece underneath that carpet. I'm just going to take both of them out because it's easier to clean. I'm using the air tool to blow everything out first, and then I'm going to shampoo it. Now it's ready to be shampooed. So I'm going to spray the shampoo chemical first and then the drill to go over it. I am going to give this a few passes because this fabric, it was hard to get these hairs out, which is hard to see using the wide angle. I am using one hand to hold the camera and the other hand to work, so there are still little hairs inside the fabric. I'm going to use this lily brush tool to make it easier, pushing all the hairs to one side and then blowing them out. Now I'll use the air tool to blow the hairs out, and it's looking much better. I'm going to go over it a few more times. This air tool is a lifesaver for interiors, especially with pet hairs like this, which are really hard to get out because of the fabric. So we're done with the trunk. Now you can see it's looking much better, and we're going to move on to the back seats. We're going to blow everything forward to make it easier for us when we vacuum. So starting from the top of the seats, then we're going to remove the mats and get underneath the fabrics too. Underneath the seats too, we're going to use the air tool. As you can see, it's just a lifesaver. This tool makes it much easier to blow everything forward, so that way it's easier to vacuum. As you can see, the hairs inside are stuck in the fabric, so we will be using that lily brush to get them out to make it easier for us. Now we can remove the mat and we're gonna vacuum underneath. Just get the crumbs out, give it a light vacuum. It doesn't have to be perfect, but because we are gonna drill it, so this is just to make it just a little easier for us. And this is the lily tool we're using to get those hairs out. And again, with the wide angle, you can't really see clearly, but there's a lot in the middle. I think that's where the dog was mainly sitting. But I'm just gonna pile it all together and then vacuum it. And now I'm just blowing everything forward. Anything that I couldn't get with the vacuum, I'm blowing it forward. Especially anything underneath the seats. The hairs in the middle are much longer and they're sticking to the fabric. So they're not the ones in the trunk that we saw. There's two different types in here. And I'm just gonna blow everything forward. I'm gonna move on to the front. I haven't shampooed the back yet, just because there's a lot of sand flying everywhere. So I'm gonna first blow out the dash, the seats, and just move on to the front. So we'll blow everything in between the seats under. And I'm gonna remove the mat, and same thing, I'm gonna vacuum underneath it. Give it a light vacuum. We're gonna make the front look new again. We'll shampoo this. I'll show you the process how we do it. After we give it a light vacuum, we're gonna use the air tool to get anything we couldn't get with the vacuum that's stuck inside, which is a lot of sand you'll see flying everywhere in a second. Right here, as you can see, the sand is just flying everywhere, but this is the only way to loosen it up, in between the pedals. And now vacuum again. This is so it's easier for us when we shampoo and use the drill. That way sand isn't flying everywhere. I'm gonna spray the chemical and we're ready to start shampooing here. We have to mainly focus on the edges. In the middle, obviously there's a carpet protecting it, but it's the edges where there's a lot of sand, and especially the driver's side. In Rhode Island, most of the cars, whenever we do interior, there's always a lot of sand inside because we live near the water, and that's part of it, which we're used to by now because we've been detailing for 5 years. As you can see, it's just looking much better. So the front is done. We're gonna put the seat up front and move on to the back. Now it's ready to be shampooed. This drill comes in handy, especially with the middle, the hairs that weren't coming off. This loosened it up and made it easy. Give it a light vacuum now that we're done with the shampooing. Any of the sand that came off. And we're pretty much done with the back here, so we're gonna move on to the other side and do the same thing. Give it a light vacuum, blow with the air tool, and then shampoo, and repeat to the front. There's like a little goldfish stuck in between. I had to get that out. Without this tool, I would have been here for at least 4 hours. This tool has made my detailing interior process much easier, and that's why I have the 27 gallon. And this is now the back, which we're done with, and we're gonna move on to the passenger side. Now it's ready to be shampooed. And then one more pass for the vacuum. It's hard to see in the camera, but there are little crumbs, and that is why I'm going over it. And now this is what we blew out from the front. So this is just giving it one more vacuum from the back. With the air tool, when we were blowing in between the seats from the passenger side, this is the stuff that was stuck underneath. Now I'm gonna move on to the seats. So I'm gonna spray the APC over the leather seats and the back of the seats just to loosen it. And then I'm gonna scrub it with this non-scratch pad. This just makes it easy to loosen whatever dirt that's stuck in these seats. Especially if you have kids. In this case, this was an older client, so the seats weren't that bad in the back. And now we're gonna wipe it off with a rag, and you could see the color coming back to life, that tan color, nice and bright. Now this is the process for the door. We spray down the door with the APC, agitate the door with the detail brush that we use. We're gonna get in the door hinge and in between the buttons, and wipe down in between that cup holder underneath too. This brush just makes it easier to loosen that up. Now for the handrest, we're gonna use the non-scratch pad. It's a little tougher than the brush, and we're gonna scrub this area a few times to get all that dirt out of that area that's been sitting there for a while. It's gonna take a few passes, but we'll get it out. So almost done. The door is ready to be dried now. And this is the after results. As you can see, it looks really nice. Got most of that dirt out. And now we're gonna move on to the front. So we're gonna do the steering wheel, and then the center console, and the dash. I'm having a hard time recording it because I'm holding it one-handed, but I'm doing my best. We're gonna get the screen, we got the vents. I am gonna buy a little mount to make it easier for me to record, so I can use both of my hands and you guys can see the full process. But for now, this is what we gotta work with. Interior is pretty much done. I'm just wiping down everything one more time, and all we have left is glass to do. And then I'll show you guys the after results. A small tip, we also use the glass cleaner to wipe down the screen to get any fingerprints and any APC stains that were left. It just takes them off and makes it look nice. Now these are the final results. As you can see, the seats are looking nice. Center console, the mats look new again. There's no more pet hair in the fabrics, and this car is ready for a new owner. If you would like to see the process of our other packages we offer, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and leave a comment of what you thought of my first video on here. And if you would like to book with us, there's a link down below.